He was 2 seconds.
You know, when
I ain't want to say nothing.
When I see him now, I look at him and he do like this. You know,
because you was 2 seconds. No, real talk.
I'm not gonna hit that child.
He turned. Antoine, we boys. The bro code.
Hashtag bro code.
Bro code. She wrote. When you do that.
Turned red. I had to stop.
When you stop on a dime like that.
In Baltimore, that's somebody pulling up. We need to duck. We need to disperse.
And just before she did that, because we was talking. I told
funny thing was
Jermaine said, remember?
I know what that means.
Right, you gotta cup your hand like that.
Oh, I ain't cuffing.
Yeah, it can't be straight like that.
It can't be straight. It got a cuff.
Like that.
You got a cuff.
Yeah, you got a cuff.
But what if you can't pull out?
No, but it don't matter.
What if this nail? What if? You see what I'm saying, right?
If you can't pull out, then about 9 months from now, we're going to have some issues.
I'm pregnant.
This, you know, it's talk.
Real talk.
Like in school life.
But see, how my hands are set up is there's the nail.
Right. So he's going to scratch his knuckle if he...
No, it get caught and...
Go around that
like this? Okay.
There's way too much going on right now. But the funny thing, you said run up on a squeegee kid. I thought you said run up and squeeze a kid. And I was going to say, if you're running around squeezing kids,
yes,
probably won't take you as a chaperone on the road coat.
Yeah.
Watch out, y'all. Kels be running up and squeezing kids.
Right.
Like,
now, baby.
Don't have me go. I go in there and it's like, oh, he's come.
He's come. Run.
Right.
No, that's Jermaine.
He's the beds.
Run.
Everybody fake sleep.
Sitting there looking like that.
We gonna get along real good.
Like, y'all know y'all ain't sleep. I heard you.
Like this, look.
Right.
Who snore like that? Like.
All you guys scream is rat. Everybody jump up. Oh my god! Oh my god!
Right.
Am I wrong?
Oh boy.
Why you gonna say that on there?
Yeah. It's a raccoon. It's a deer.
Yo, it's way too much going on.
Too much.
What'd you say, nigga?
Here's a mess.
I can't.
When somebody snore and they look at you, but they actually sleep like.
That's serious.
That one eye.
That one eye.
So Lene, is that her name?
Oh my God!
We do have space available in my basement if you wanna. If Digga gets kicked out and needs a place to lay.
He standing out front like I was playing. I was just playing.
Little jokey joke.
Antoine started it.
But you got
TGIW, you listening to the Be Inspired radio show.
What's going on, family? TGIW to you, and you. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Miss Be Inspired on the mic.
And the artisan angel HL7 Azrael.
And we are missing Blizzard.
Yeah, we are.
Hopefully he'll be walking in soon. He works on Wednesdays, so sometimes it gets a little tough. But he will be in the house. But on other news, guess what? Azrael, HL7 Azrael is our newest co-host.
That was so harmonious. I just want to point that out.
Yes. So, of course, you know that Azrael has been interning with us for the past couple months. Like, how many months? I don't know.
Right.
I kind of lost count. But yeah, so he's been interning with us for the past couple of months, and we decided to promote him to co-host. He has been doing such an amazing job. Of course, it was contingent on him graduating from high school, which he did, but we still waiting on the paper. We still waiting on the paper. I told him, I said, I still want to see the paper. I need to see the proof. But anyway, we're very proud of Azrael here on the Be Inspired radio show, and we are glad that he is part of our team. So shout out. You know, it would be nice if Blizzard was here.
I know, it would have sounded much more beautiful.
It would have. You know, because 3 is better than 2. And 2 is better.
Speak of the devil.
Hey.
Yes.
I'm not a devil, I'm an angel.
Yes, sir.
It's like, no, what's up?
Speak of the blizzard.
What's up, man?
Hey.
We were just talking about how you having one of these would have made it like even more just harmonious.
Oh man, I got Snapchat this one.
I forgot I had the hat on. My hair is like
Well, you see what? What we? Oh wait a minute. We gotta give Nicole a hat and a
everyone gets one.
Noisemaker.
So
on the break, we gotta make it up to you, Nicole. We messed up. Look, we messed up. That was on us.
You get a car. You get a car. Everybody gets a car.
I always get the crackhead one.
Oh yeah. That is so true. I'm sorry,
I feel like
family.
you're just
I know I just
wrong. At this point,
screamed in the microphone. I'm sorry, but it is so true. Every time we have a celebration and we get a noisemaker,
blow it soft.
Blizzard always gets the messed up one. Let's get you another one. Hold on.
There is no way he keeps getting the messed up one.
Yeah, I swear.
He does. It's not a lie.
I'm not believing
He
this.
always look.
I feel like he's doing it wrong. You have to be doing it wrong.
It was working at first though.
Everyone, this is the second time that this has happened. Like I can't believe this. Like
here. All right, now if you get another broke one
and it fails, and
it's you.
It's you.
Okay, we have success. We have.
Well, maybe you just blew that one out. I don't.
Already though, that's crazy.
Look, meanwhile, I have the old lady. Meanwhile, I have the old lady lipstick on my noisemaker.
So many people's ears are in pain right now.
Yes.
We
are tearing up there.
I was about to say we live already?
Yeah.
Yes, we alive.
Oh. My bad, John.
Anyway, welcome to the party, everybody. So let's do our introductions again now since Blizzard is here. This is Miss Be Inspired on the mic.
You already know your boy Blizzard.
And the artisan angel HL7 Azrael.
There you have it, family. So look, we got a lot to talk about today. We're going to hit this Miss Be Inspired. Well, first of all, let me pause because I said I was going to mention that it is my father's birthday today. And even though my dad is not in my life right now, I don't necessarily know where he is right now. You know, he was in my life at one point. I do have very fond memories of him when I was growing up, but you know, circumstances had it where he ended up not being in my life. But I always still acknowledge his birthday. So wherever you are, Dad, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Boom.
I'm always late.
It's alright. Better late than never, as the saying goes.
Right.
Alright, so let's get into this soapbox. Miss Be Inspired soapbox topic. Because first of all, Azrael is like on pins and needles over here waiting to jump in.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay, so first of all, there's a lot going on in our nation right now. It's a nation divided, literally.
Yeah, it's crazy.
If you didn't know, if you had been watching the news, there was a march recently with white supremacists, KKK, and the Nazis, and they pretty much, you know, got a permit to march. There was also a group of people who were marching against them, so counter protesting, if you will. Right. There was some violence that ensued. Actually, somebody from the white supremacist KKK group ran a car into the counter protesters, killing one person and injuring a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, I saw that.
So here in Baltimore, there are a few Confederate statues up around. One in particular that is up, and upon Catherine Pugh's, I guess, her, not request, but, you know, her orders, she requested that it be taken down, or ordered that it be taken down. So there were lots of opinions around this whole ordeal. So many. I was surprised to find, though, that a lot of African Americans and minorities actually had an issue with the Confederate statue being taken down, which to me, again, was shocking for obvious reasons. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Azrael, because he is one of those people who has the opposing viewpoint
I'm gonna fight it.
So go ahead. Go ahead, take over, because we gotta hear this, because everybody is waiting to hear what your perspective and viewpoint is. So let's just dive right in to Miss Be Inspired Soapbox. Go.
So my argument with the whole thing is, and I'm still inviting people because I want everyone to hear this. My argument is, regardless of how we feel about it, history is history. Right. Our people seem to look at everything, and me, I'm a person who values neutrality. I'm a person who does not like bias. But so how I see this is that we are looking at the history of a large group of people. Everyone looks at it like, oh, these people represent slavery. It does not represent slavery. Robert E. Lee does not represent slavery. Confederate flag, I don't even see that as it reps slavery. What I see it as is that's a group of people, because all of this stems from the whole secession, the Union versus the South, and that's kind of a big part of history for them. That's them standing up for what they believe in, and it's like, you're not going to tell me what to do, especially since you don't understand us. So although the war was fought for slavery, the people and everything that came out of it was not necessarily representing slavery. Robert E. Lee to them was a war hero. So we're going to tear down a statue because we see it as slavery, when the whole southern part of the country sees him as someone who just fought for them. Right. The flag that we hate so much, we see it as slavery. They see it as, this is us standing up for what we believe in. It's the concepts behind everything, not what happened. And I feel like us as a community, we're too sucked up in, let's be progressive, make everyone equal and right, to see that you're pushing equality at the cost of someone else's history and culture. Whether you like it or not, I cannot support that and be okay with that, because technically, if we're tearing down racist statues, why is Abraham Lincoln's statue still up? Because he definitely stated on multiple occasions he had no intention to free the slaves. And he said if he could find a way to bring back the Union without freeing slaves, he blatantly said he would have. George Washington, who we hail as our founding father, loved so much, had slaves. As people, we tend to judge the past by our time. You can't do that.
I would be interested. So first of all, I've been very silent on the issue, because I'm going to say, like how my husband says, I can't necessarily speak intelligently on it. Yeah. So because I can't, I don't infringe my opinion on the matter. What I will say is that there are a lot of people who agree with the fact that the Confederate statue was taken down, and there are a lot of people who didn't. Now, I'd be interested in hearing somebody who feels strongly that it should have been. So if you're that one who feels like, that was the right thing to do, call us at 410-702-5657 or text us at 443-642-9403. And it's not necessarily that I want to separate myself from the matter. It's that really, honestly, I can't speak intelligently to it. If I'm gonna be for or against it, I want to be able to give a intelligent argument about it. But to me, it's so split. Now, what I will say is I feel like some things need to be evaluated in our country because it no longer reflects the complexion of our country, including the national anthem and things like that. Like, I wonder why we've never sat down and reevaluated some of these things to update it, if you will, to reflect the diversity that's in this country. And it may seem like just illusion to some people that this idea of diversity really even exists, but the truth be told, a lot of the political documents and patriotic songs and statues and documents of this country no longer reflects the true complexion of this country. And I personally feel like some of those things need to be evaluated and maybe even updated to reflect what people are literally fighting for, because to me there are a lot more people that are working together than not. And it's just that the media, to me, puts in the forefront all those things that would show our country as divided. But there are a lot of other things happening where people are literally working together. I.e., even in my workforce, I see how, minorities are getting more chances. And that's not everybody's reality. I understand that.
Right.
But I personally feel like some things in our country need to be reevaluated to reflect the complexion. But, we end up taking steps back when we have people in office who want to still uphold the opinions of a small elite group, i.e. the rich white men that have all the money. So that kind of like sets us back a bit, to be honest with you. But so that's my take on it. I
have an opinion on that too, but we don't have enough time for that. Maybe the next thing, maybe we don't have anything. Maybe
because I really do want us to talk about the topic of anxiety and depression tonight.
Oh yeah,
we need
definitely
to dive into that because I have been seeing way too much on social media. I'm talking about young people taking their lives, and people who seem to have it all together, and then all of a sudden you get a call that says, "Oh, this person, committed suicide," and it's all attributed to the fact that they have dealt with anxiety and depression in secret. People don't talk about it. It's taboo in so many environments. So I want us to talk about it tonight. I wrote a chapter on it in the Wisdom on the Wall book, where I am a co-author. I'm going to read an excerpt on the anxiety and depression chapter that I wrote. So I need you to stay tuned, please, to the Be Inspired Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Oh, I keep forgetting to put that on.
Check out this flashback from the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
That's the biggest thing, is just empowerment. Just get off of the begging line. Just be proud and just get our pride and our dignity back, because as a child, we're taught how to go and beg for a job. Our parents, they literally taught us how to make sure you pull your pants up. Me, I'm 6'7", so I'm a bigger man. I was always taught how to not be threatening or intimidate people when I go into different interviews or different scenarios. And so we're literally taught how to condition ourselves, condition our speech, everything, in order to go and beg these people for a job, because we know when we walk in the door, I have to tear down 10 stereotypes before I get past hello. So we need to eliminate that. And we need to eliminate that, and the way that we do that is employing ourselves and employing our brothers and sisters. And so that's our mission, is group economics, uplift ourselves, because I can't empower anyone until I empower myself, and change from just being willing, because it's in my heart and my passion to see my people succeed and see us do better and change the social order, because I know that we are not supposed to be on bottom. I understand who I was. I know I didn't fall out of the sky and land on a plantation. So when you have knowledge of self and you know who you are and what you come from, it's frustrating more than anything to see us in this position.
Tune into the Artist Exchange every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. live. Be Exposed Radio. Check out what you missed on Be Exposed Radio.
Listen to Elizabeth Warren talking about Black lives and Black life.
Police are not occupying armies. This is America, not a war zone. I speak today with full knowledge that I have not personally experienced and can never truly understand the fear, the oppression, and the pain that confronts African Americans every day.
Don't you just want to kill yourself? I mean, not from what she was saying, but from the music that was playing in the background. I just want to, gosh, but every word she said was prolific, and it did not come from what is now becoming mainstream as white privilege. She has a sensibility about her, and the way she speaks about different things, that has, from the first time I saw her, I can't remember what state she's in. I think she's in like North Carolina or something like that, somewhere I'm not going. That some kind of sensibility about her that makes me like her for president. But she's not running. We have this old guy that looks like he should be on the popcorn box. Then we have Martin O'Malley. Fine. We'll settle if we must. Hillary, who I like, but she just has to fight against all this controversy, and that's the hard part of it all. Then we have Huckabee. I could have swore he died, like in one of those books, like a fairy tale book. Trump, we're gonna get to you in a moment. Meet with all these black folk in one room, and they just fell for it. Like, he must have been giving out $100 bills behind that.
Check out the Talk Lately show every Tuesday nights from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here on Be Exposed
Exchange Radio Show every Friday 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Saturday 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com.
As busy as you are, because they're good at itemizing their time, and they actually have a passion for what they do. One of the biggest lessons that I learned, I get to say this on Weird, was finding people who are not only interested in doing what you need to get done, but people who have a passion for it, because that will eliminate the idea of people just working for a paycheck. Right. Because when people sign up for a paycheck, we all had jobs where we slacked off, where we stole away in a little storage room.
Fell asleep.
Thank you.
I saw a meme the other day that had Bart Simpson and the little boy with the glasses. I didn't watch the show, so don't be mad at me. Don't send me no daggum messages. The little boy with the glass, Millhouse, that was his name. He's showing him a cave, and it says, when you're asked to show around the new coworker, and it says, this is where I come to cry. Cool.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Be Inspired Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com, with your host, Miss Be Inspired on the mic.
Yeah. You already know the co-host, Blizzard.
And the artisan angel, HL7 Azrael.
No, you gotta say co-host.
Oh,
yes,
and the co-host.
Yeah, there you go.
New co-host.
Yeah.
Co-host.
Yeah. Say it with your chest.
HL7 Azrael.
There we
Chest
go.
out. Boom. That's right.
Say it with your chest, son. Yeah.
Yes, Azrael is our new co-host.
Hey.
A well-deserved position, because he's been working hard these past couple of months. He was an intern with us, and we gave him a promotion. So yeah, well-deserved.
Yeah,
we got a lot to talk about tonight. A whole lot to talk about. As you know, and we're not going to get back into this, but we talked about the Confederate statues here in Baltimore being taken down.
Right.
A lot of people had opinions about that. We're going to also be talking about anxiety and depression tonight. I will be reading an excerpt from the chapter that I wrote in the book Wisdom on the Wall. That's right, Wisdom on the Wall.
So y'all getting exclusives from the book.
I know, right? Myself, Alicia Adams, and Kadisha Carroll are the authors of this amazing inspirational book that has nothing but inspirational nuggets all throughout it on being a woman leader, being single, anxiety and depression, as I said before. What else? Being a mother, a wife, a mother of a daughter of a deceased mother. There is so much in this book. So much that anybody really, because we wanted to push that, even though yes, our focus was, or our target audience was women when we wrote this, it is not limited to women, because the information that we share in here can be used by anyone. It's just that powerful. We even have a chapter on finances, which is amazing. So come on, please, I need everybody to support the Wisdom on the Wall book project, and I'll be happy to share more information about that later on in the show. But we will be talking about anxiety and depression tonight. There's a lot going on. I've seen a lot going on social media, a lot of posts of people who have lost their battle, if you will, with depression and anxiety. They've taken their own life, and they didn't know how to cope. And for a lot of groups, or class of people, it's a taboo thing to discuss.
Yeah.
So I want us to take the covers off tonight and really talk about the impact that anxiety and depression has on the lives of so many. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later on in the show. Then we have Valicia Tall, who is with us tonight. She's going to be calling in for the inspirational segment, not just fashion, but more than fashion. She's going to also weigh in on anxiety and depression tonight.
More exclusives.
More exclusives. Yes. Also, I have a few announcements. There's a lot of great stuff going on here on the Be Inspired Radio Show. September the 22nd through the 24th, 2017, the much anticipated Live on Purpose Conference 2017, hosted by Kadisha Carroll, my very good friend, and also the author of the Wisdom on the Wall book. Yes, shameless plug. I'll be doing that all show long. But I need all of my friends and family to meet me down in Williamsburg, Virginia, September 22nd through the 24th, 2017. Yours truly will be the master of ceremony at that event all weekend. Yes. All weekend long, I will be working.
That sounds like a road trip.
Yes, I feel like what they say. I feel a road trip in my spirit. Y'all gotta go. All right. Mm-hmm. So anyway, this event is going to be going on all weekend long. Friday there will be a praise and worship event. Saturday, empowerment workshops. Now this part is so impactful. We talk about finances. We talk about all kinds of things in these workshops. And then later on that night is going to be a comedy show. You got to balance it out, folks.
Oh, yeah.
Got to balance
comedy
it out.
Show. Oh, man.
And then that Sunday will be words of encouragement. There are some really good deals going on right now for you to register for this event. If you want to know more information about that, go to www.kadishacarroll.com and get more information to register. And you know what? Kadisha just actually put the information in the Facebook Live feed, family. So if you want to know more information about that, you can check that out. Also, time is running out, Lord. Okay, so we have a special deal going on now right here on the Be Inspired Radio Show. If you want to share your back to school deals and events, we have a sponsorship fee of $25 if you want to share your events on our show. That is a special back to school deal that we are giving right here on the Be Inspired Radio Show. If you want to be a sponsor, you can partner with us for $25, family.
What?
You can't beat that.
You really can.
You can't beat that. So if you want to advertise, you can do that right here on the Be Inspired Radio Show. And then on top of that, the book, the Wisdom on the Wall book that I've been talking about.
It's a nice book.
That I'm a co-author on with Alicia Adams and Kadisha Carroll. We have another book signing event coming up this Sunday, August the 20th, 2017, from 3 to 5 p.m. at the First Alliance Church in Hockinson, Delaware.
Another one.
Mm-hmm. From
State to
3
state.
to 5 p.m.
See, you see that tour?
We on the tour. We on
They
the
on
book
tour, yeah.
family.
Another one.
They on
So
tour,
when we come back from the break, I'll have a few other announcements, but we're going to dive right into this topic of anxiety and depression. If you know someone who can benefit from this discussion that we're going to have tonight, please, by all means, share this video out with them. We're going to take a brief break, and when we come back, more of the Be Inspired Radio Show only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Check out this flashback from the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
That's the biggest thing, is just empowerment. Just get off of the begging line. Just be proud and just get our pride and our dignity back, because as a child, we're taught how to go and beg for a job. Our parents, they literally taught us how to make sure you pull your pants up. Me, I'm 6'7", so I'm a bigger man. I was always taught how to not be threatening or intimidate people when I go into different interviews or different scenarios. And so we're literally taught how to condition ourselves, condition our speech, everything, in order to go and beg these people for a job, because we know when we walk in the door, I have to tear down 10 stereotypes before I get past hello. So we need to eliminate that. You know, and we need to eliminate that. And the way that we do that is employing ourselves and employing our brothers and sisters. And so that's our mission, is group economics, uplift ourselves, because I can't empower anyone until I empower myself, and change from just being willing because it's in my heart and my passion to see my people succeed and see us do better and change the social order, because I know that we are not supposed to be on bottom. I understand who I was. I know I didn't fall out of the sky and land on a plantation. So when you have knowledge of self and you know who you are and what you come from, it's frustrating more than anything to see us in this position.
Tune into the Artist Exchange every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Live. Big Exposed.
And as a comedian, if I say a joke and it just might not fit your cup of tea, but it's mine, that's what a comedian is supposed to do.
But people forget
everybody's not going to find your jokes funny. They better find mine funny.
But they forget that, though. They really forget that. They forget that but it's your view. That's why they didn't fire her.
Yeah.
Because her viewpoint is controversial. It's controversial.
That's the view she sees.
Right.
Everybody is clear to her.
Like they did their reaction to
cellophane.
They did the reaction to the Chris Rock Oscar, and they were talking about Stacey Dash, and I don't think she agrees with Stacey Dash, but she pointed her out as somebody who has an opinion that's just different from everybody else's.
Her opinion is just stupid, though. Stacey Dash she's like a Dash. Let's just move on.
I think she's intelligent, but her
You're still going.
opinion.
We're gonna move on. Stacey Dash doesn't need to be talked about. She's irrelevant.
You said her name like 3 times already.
She's irrelevant.
I said it once.
Dash. ... So, I couldn't have meant that more. She is so irrelevant. I'm not even going to say her name. But we're here every Tuesday, and we talk about people just like that at 7 p.m. only on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, everybody. TGIW right here on the Be Inspired Radio Show with your host, Miss Be Inspired on the mic.
Yeah. You already know one of the co-hosts, Blizzard.
And the new co-host, the artisan Angel HL7 Azrael.
Boom.
That's how we do it.
Yes. We are in celebratory mode. If you can't tell, we have our wonderful crowns on our head.
Kings and queens.
And our noisemakers celebrating our new co-host, who is well deserving of this position. He's worked hard the past couple of months as an intern on the show, and we promoted him to co-host. So congratulations, my man. All right, so let's go ahead and dig into this topic for tonight. And the topic is bless you.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Yeah, no, the topic is not bless you. But, you know, he sneezed, so I said bless you. All right, so let's talk about this. And the topic tonight is let's talk about it. Discussion on anxiety and depression. This topic to me is so necessary. It's always necessary to talk about issues dealing with mental health. It is something that should not be taken lightly, but definitely something that we draw attention to. There are so many people that suffer in silence with any kind of mental disorder, but tonight our focus is on anxiety and depression. I wanted to talk about this because I'd seen on social media that one of my friends recently lost a friend who apparently was very well known in Baltimore as a vocalist who lost his battle with anxiety and depression. Hey, Nate.
Nate Dogg.
So I wanted to discuss this because I saw the outcry from people that they really wanted there to be a sit-down discussion about anxiety and depression. I am stepping up to the plate because since the age of 18, I'm now 34. Since the age of 18, I have battled with and dealt with anxiety and depression. And this is not something that I shared with everybody when it initially happened to me, but it's definitely something that occurred in my life. There were a lot of different situations that attributed to me having anxiety and depression. But the first episode I ever had was triggered by a medicine that I took. I took Tylenol, cold and sinus medicine, and my body overreacted to it. And the sensations of anxiety, for anybody who has ever gone through it, you know, are very real to the person that's experiencing it. Yeah. For a person who's never dealt with it, that person looking at you, they may think, what is wrong with them? There's nothing wrong with you, so why are you freaking out? But a person who's dealing with anxiety and depression, you feel all of these feelings physiologically, and they feel real to you. Your heart is racing, you feel dizzy, you feel like you're gonna pass out, you feel like you're having a heart attack, you feel like you're gonna die, all of these things, because so much is coming in at you all at once. And what's happening is your body literally is trying to protect you, but really it's doing it at the wrong time when nothing is really wrong. Or it's something in you triggered this anxiety attack. So for the person who's going through it, it is really real. And a lot of times anxiety and depression are paired together, which I do discuss in the Wisdom on the Wall book. I'm going to read an excerpt from the book, because first of all, this comes from my personal research on the matter as being a person who's dealt with anxiety and depression personally, and also some of my personal experiences. I'm going to read this because this section talks about the fact that talking about mental disorders and talking about anxiety and depression is so taboo in so many communities. Unfortunately, because there are people who suffer in silence, who deal with these issues and never speak up because people look at them as if something is wrong with them. For a long time, I hid because of anxiety and depression, because somebody was going to think I was crazy. Somebody was going to think something was wrong with me. But I'm stepping up to the plate to say, yes, me. Yes, the one who has a radio show and a book, and who is a mom, and who is a wife, and who is an elder in the church, has dealt with anxiety and depression. So I'm going to read this excerpt from my book. It's called Wisdom on the Wall. Myself, Alicia Adams, and Kadisha Carroll are the authors of this book, and I was asked to write a section on anxiety and depression. So the part that I'm going to read is from the last portion of the book, and so I hope you enjoy it, but we're going to spark a conversation based on this excerpt. So it says, one thing to know is that the battlefield of anxiety and depression is in the mind, and the physical effects are just a byproduct of it. This will help to empower you to know how to conquer it. The mind can become easily overwhelmed and overloaded, especially as a woman. Again, keep in mind that this book, we did target the woman audience, but a lot of what we're saying in here can apply to anyone. The responsibility of the woman are seemingly endless, from being a wife, mother, businesswoman, friend, caregiver, organizer, counselor, and the list goes on. A woman can be found being or doing any one of these things at any given moment. The woman is constantly bombarded with things to do and think about, on top of the trauma and issues that she may have had to personally encounter along the way. In addition to that, a woman is driven by a great deal of hormones, which can cause mood and emotions to fluctuate. Therefore, it is important as a woman to take the time to evaluate her mental and emotional health. You can become burned out and not even realize it until the body starts to react. Now, I want to pause right there, because just that sentence, I'm going to say, you can become burned out and not even realize it until the body starts to react. That sentence alone can apply to anyone. A lot of the times, not just a lot of the time, just in general, in life, all of us have a ton of responsibilities. A ton of responsibilities. At any given moment, you might be worrying about the bills you gotta pay, or what somebody did to you, or whatever your issue is, and you can be easily overwhelmed by so much in your life and don't even realize it. A lot of times people encounter a lot of issues and don't know how to press the pause button, and don't even realize that you're overwhelmed. You don't. You pile on all of the stuff, and you do not realize that you are overwhelmed. I'm going to keep reading it. Check in with yourself often and ask yourself, am I okay? You got to take them pauses, family, and check in with yourself. Check in with yourself emotionally, physically, and find out if you're okay. A lot of times it's kind of hard for us to do that, again, because we get bogged down with the cares of life every day. And for me, I can speak from the perspective of a woman, being a wife, being a mother, being a businesswoman, being a radio show host, having all of these ambitions. And some responsibilities you can't just cut off. You can't just cut these responsibilities off. You still have to take care of your kids. You still got to take care of home. You still got to go to work. You still got to do these things. But every now and then, you need to take a pause and check in with yourself just to see if you are all right. And if there are some things in your life that can be eliminated. I'm going to keep going, because I'm going to get to a part in here where I actually talk about how anxiety and depression is taboo in the community. Okay, so again, I said check in with yourself often and ask yourself, am I okay? And then answer yourself. Answer yourself. Take the time to examine yourself and take inventory of your emotional health so you can be the best that you can be, which is a whole, happy, and healthy you. Now, here's where I'm going to go into talking about how taboo anxiety and depression is in certain communities. Wow. It is a sad reality that in some minority communities and in some church environments, conversations about anxiety, depression, or any other type of emotional or mental disorder are often neglected. Why is dialogue about these types of issues in these communities so taboo? Perhaps for Christians, it stems from the false notion that you should always be strong. When God says to Paul in the Holy Bible in 2 Corinthians 12:9 that my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in your weakness. We should not feel like we have to be strong all the time. And a lot of times in minority communities, especially in the black community, we have to put on this air that we are all, that, you know, we can't be sad. And especially as men, y'all can't cry, y'all can't express your emotions, y'all can't do any of this without looking like you're weak or like something is wrong with you.
Right.
You know, which is unfair, because my thing is this: sometimes as a male you carry the most responsibility, especially if you're a father or, you know, whatever in your family, and you have to worry about the well-being of your family. That's a lot of pressure, but you're not allowed to talk about it. Not only that, some of the disadvantages that you have to deal with in the community being a black man. You know, you're stereotyped, and sometimes you got to be fearful of your life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's unfair that you can't discuss that openly without being looked at as if you're weak or something. You know, but a lot of times these things are taboo in these communities because it's just not allowed. You know. Okay, so I'm gonna keep on going. This misnomer of having unwavering strength has caused many people to lose the battle with anxiety and depressions. In minority communities, the misconception of needing to constantly be strong has undoubtedly stemmed from some of the trauma and disadvantages that these communities have endured, which I already spoke about. Unfortunately, members of these groups suffer unnecessarily in silence, bearing the pain and torment of these diseases alone. But let's be clear, anxiety and depression does not discriminate. People of all races, backgrounds, and nationalities have suffered and continue to deal with its effects. But you can rise above these misconceptions and make the necessary moves to get healthy. So a lot of times people don't really recognize that they're dealing with anxiety and depression because the symptoms can mimic anything. Right. You know, you don't realize it. And so that's another reason why it goes undetected or goes undiscussed, because you don't realize that you're dealing with it. When some people, when they deal with anxiety and depression, they might feel sick. They have stomach ache. You know, that could be easily attributed to a stomach virus or anything like that. But they're not realizing that it's stress that's causing it.
Exactly.
You know, it's stress that's causing those issues. And then because you don't know that you need to a lot of times we don't think we need to check in with ourselves, because we like, ain't nothing wrong with me, I'm good, I'm straight.
You feel good,
right?
But really is you not.
But you're not, and then other people around you can tell sometimes that something is not right, something is off, But again, because we're not taught to take those pauses, especially in America, where we are taught to work and work and work and work and work and work and don't take breaks and work.
Can we take a second to clear up a misconception?
Yes.
A lot of people think that depression is just you feel sad at times.
Yes.
Can you clear that up for people?
Yes. Okay, so depression is a lot deeper than that. Okay, let me go into that. It's a lot deeper than just feeling sad. It is literally a chemical imbalance that goes on in your body. And for a person who deals with depression, if they encounter any kind of issue or anything like that, they can't recover as quickly from something happening to them as maybe somebody who doesn't deal with the issue. A person with depression, you can stay that way for a long time. And it's just like an extended feeling of hopelessness, and you don't have energy. So it goes beyond just feeling sad. Your body literally physically feels tired, and you just don't have the energy to do things, and so a lot of times, again, it can be misunderstood as being some other kind of illnesses. There are a lot of illnesses that make you feel like that, like high blood pressure, different kind of diseases like that can make you feel sluggish and tired. But a lot of times, for a lot of people, it's depression and stress that's causing it. But again, because we don't have these discussions, people don't know what to look for.
Yeah, stress is actually, it seems to be one of the things that are causing most people harm. Like, like I've known so many people. I have a lot of friends who sit there and tell me, I don't really feel like eating. I can't eat, sleep. My body just hurts and everything. And I'm like, that's stress. Because I know exactly what that is. Like, I had a friend who every time we walked up the hill to the school, she would have a migraine.
Yeah.
And it's like, people don't understand that stress can trigger a lot of things within you, but people want to kind of throw it away and name it something else. Because even with me, when I told my family that I wanted to go and see, to go get a checkup, my mom pulled me aside and later said, "Are you sure? Because if you have it, then you'll be labeled." And I think there's a terrible stigma that comes with being depressed and having anxiety, because even within my own family, my aunt told me that she doesn't think that I could go to college or do anything because I have depression and anxiety. So people just count you out because you have something like that instead of helping you.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yes, that is the case, and that is the reason why it's so taboo. So thank you for that example, because again, that's the reason why a lot of people don't step up, because they feel like they're going to be labeled as crazy, when really it's so much deeper than just that. On the surface, it might be what people think about you, but there's some deeper issues there that is attributing to the anxiety and depression that you're feeling. When we come back from the break, we're going to discuss it a little bit more. I'm going to read another portion of my book that actually talks about some of the symptoms. I wish I could I want to go in depth with this, because there are a lot more moving parts to anxiety and depression and what attributes to it. But I hope you've enjoyed this so far. Please stay tuned as we continue our discussion after the break to the Be Inspired Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
Man, it is what it is. Man, it is what it is. Well, it is what it is.
This Fly T Miles, also known as Terrai Miles, and Mr. Miles the Writer.
Hip Hop K. Check us out every Friday on Be Exposed Radio at 9/11.
Coming to y'all soon.
Ladies, are you in need of the best quality hair extensions, a cute outfit, or that perfect pair of shades? Pink Ice products can cover you from head to toe, from flawless weaves to apparel. Visit us online at pinkiceproducts.bigcartel.com. We're located at 3000 Old Alabama Road, 119-303, Alpharetta, Georgia. Or give us a call at 470-488-6484. Come on in and check out Pink Ice products today. Ladies, are you in need of the best quality hair extensions, a cute outfit, or that perfect pair of shades? Pink Ice products can cover you from head to toe, from flawless weaves to apparel. Visit us online at pinkiceproducts.bigcartel.com. We're located at 3000 Old Alabama Road, 119-303, Alpharetta, Georgia. Or give us a call at 470-488-6484. Come on in and check out Pink Ice products today.
Hey everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired radio show.
Now here's one little speech I'm going to give you before I get into the next article. Here's what I want to tell you. Still, fear is big business. Fear is big business. I'm not telling you not to be alarmed by what you're seeing. I'm not telling you not to be concerned. What I am saying is not to buy into the notion that we should be afraid. You should be informed. You should be aware. You should start educating yourself about some things. I don't have the solutions. I don't have the answer. I wish I could say that if you did X, Y, and Z, you might not get shot by the police. I wish I could tell you that, but I can't. But what I can say is just start making yourself aware of what's going on, but don't be so consumed by what you're seeing that you become afraid, that you don't want to go out. Or you become numb. That's a good point, Nate. Nate said, or you become numb to it, like you just don't care. So we need you to just continue to be in touch with what's going on, but educate your family, talk to your sons, talk to your daughters, because it's not just limited to men. We know from Sandra Bland, she was a young woman who was killed. And we don't want to say, we don't know all the details behind what happened. No. The fact is that person's life still matters. They still have rights. They should not just be killed dead before they even get a trial. Okay, that's the point. They deserve a trial at least, but they can't even make it to the jail cell to get a trial to be tried. They're being killed even before arrest. Terrible. So that's my soapbox.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Be Inspired Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com. No more sugar, Azrael, for you.
I started off rough coming in here, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my fault.
I know. That's why we saying no more sugar. No more candy for you, sir. Let's put this over.
But I didn't have sugar
before.
Right over where you belong.
We putting a stop to that.
But the blizzard's good.
No, sir.
I'm good, man.
Yeah, let him have it. He worked hard today. Like, go ahead and enjoy your sugar. You don't get any.
Baltimore City.
Anyway, everybody, welcome back to the best show, the Be Inspired Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com with your host, Miss Be Inspired on the mic.
Yeah. You already know one of the co-hosts, Blizzard.
And the new co-host, the Artisan Angel HL7 Azrael. And then our new, I'm officially a co-host.
Turning up, son.
We're celebrating.
And then we have Nate with us from the Artist
refuses
Exchange.
to get a mic.
Or candy.
I understand that.
just came here.
If you're gonna be part of the discussion, be part of the discussion.
Before we go any further, I want to acknowledge that Nate pointed out the fact that this whole scene is very misleading.
It is.
We have crowds and blowers, and we're talking about anxiety and depression.
Mr. K,
I guess that's true.
It's balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's be happy about it, guys.
Two sides of the coin, okay? On one side of the coin, we're celebrating Azure. The other side, we're talking about anxiety, depression. Okay?
There's nothing wrong with it, though. It's not
like the best of both worlds.
That's your body cleaning itself out.
Is it?
Yeah, when you feel depression, that's your body saying it's enough.
That's a wake-up call. It is.
Oh, word.
It's definitely a wake up for some. With some, it's like, you're genetically predisposed to having it because of chemical imbalances in your body. You need to, well, we're going to talk about that. So if you didn't know, the topic tonight, we're talking about discussion on anxiety and depression. We need to talk about this because there is so much going on in our world. Let me start by saying that can really cause someone to be extremely discouraged. This is a country divided, obviously, by racism and socio-economic issues. There's so much that is impairing this country that could cause anybody to feel hopeless. It just is reality. You look at the news every day, you're seeing somebody being killed, murdered, somebody in addition to things you've gone through in your own life. It's enough to make anybody feel some kind of way. Exactly.
More negatives than positives.
Right. And that could cause anybody to just sink into a hole of depression. On top of there being a genetic predisposition to it, that could cause it. As well as some other things, chemical imbalances, hormones. There are a lot of things that contribute or attribute to having anxiety and depression. If you were listening earlier, I was reading an excerpt from my book from the conclusion of the chapter that I wrote on anxiety and depression on Wisdom on the Wall, a new book that myself, Alicia Adams, and Khadisha Carroll have written. So I want to continue having this discussion. I'm going to read a little bit more from the book, but I want to engage you. So if you are someone who have experienced it or have known someone who has experienced it and you have a question or you want to discuss something concerning the topic, call us at 410-702-5657. or text us at 443-642-9403. Let me just explain something. I am not a psychologist and I am not a professional, but I am somebody who has gone through anxiety and depression myself. And I have some experience on it, and I've even done research on it because I wanted to know how to get better. Not everybody knows to do that, though. Not everybody knows to do that. But I was fortunate enough to go to school and learn a little bit about it and then realize I need to find out more so I can get better. Because to me, that's part of your healing process. Understanding what you're up against with anxiety and depression, and then knowing that there is help out there for you. That you do not have to deal with it alone, in private, or in silence. A lot of people feel alone because they feel like if they talk to somebody about it, they're going to put their business out in the street. They don't feel like they have a trusted source to talk to about it. They feel ashamed. They feel like people are going to look at them different. Especially, let me bring this up, especially if you're a person that everybody celebrates and praises and put on this pedestal. And then in silence or in private, you're dealing with anxiety and depression. And if you come out with it, people might somehow look at you differently. So a lot of people are fearful to talk about it for that reason. I've known several preachers and stuff who have committed suicide because they dealt with depression and anxiety behind closed doors, and because they were a preacher and a teacher and people were following them, they felt like they couldn't be transparent about it. When to me, that's the stuff that people need to hear. That's the people that people need to know that they can get through. They can become we overcome by the word of our testimony. That's what the scripture says. So if you are a preacher or a teacher, if you understand that fact, that'll help you to come forward with some of the things that you're going through so that you can really effectively help other people.
Right.
We getting ready to take another break. I'm telling you, these segments are flying by.
Nah, it's about to be 8 already.
But let's go ahead and take care of some bills. All right. Stay tuned to the Be Inspired Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Let's go to the telephone. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How you doing, Wendy?
Fine, thanks.
Check out this flashback from the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
I'll let you speak on it. You know it better than I do.
All right, thank you, Nate. So the Say It Loud Film Festival is happening on April 16th, which is next Saturday from noon to 10 p.m. at nighttime. And we have partnered up with the No Boundaries Coalition. So I got to tell you the address real quick. It's 1947 Pennsylvania Avenue, which is where the Jubilee Arts Center is located. So we've partnered up with the No Boundaries Coalition, and the No Boundaries Coalition hosts an annual block party right there where we're going to be having the film festival. This is the 9th annual Boundary Block Party, and they are providing shuttle buses to take people to the voting booths because the Maryland primaries open on that same April 16th date that we're having the film festival and the block party. So we're going to be partnering up and promoting each other, and there's going to be these shuttle buses taking people to the voting booths to go vote, and we're going to have live music, live poetry, live dancing from a local high school, and then films start at 7 p.m. at nighttime. So that's basically what's going on for the Say It Loud Film Festival in West Baltimore.
Tune into the Artist Exchange.
Do yourself a favor and listen to this hilarious flashback on Charm City Direct Radio Show.
You know me. I eat like this all the time. Do I gain any weight? No, at all. You can have my belly, right? I'm giving away body parts. Somebody said they need a butt. Somebody said they
I
need
can use a little extra tissue there.
I can pop it right now.
He out here giving out butt cheek donations.
Hey everybody, it's your girl, the magical glow getter herself, Anissa Maureen, co-host of the Charm City Direct Radio Show. Catch me and the rest of my team every Saturday, 5 to 7 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com.
Ladies, are you in need of the best quality hair extensions, a cute outfit, or that perfect pair of shades? Pink Ice Products can cover you from head to toe, from flawless weaves to apparel. Visit us online at pinkiceproducts.bigcartel.com. We're located at 3000 Old Alabama Road, 119-303, Alpharetta, Georgia. Or give us a call at 470-488-6484. Come on in and check out Pink Ice Products today.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Be Inspired Radio Show. As always, you are catching the tail end of our conversations that we have on the break. Sometimes they do carry over. If you're just tuning in, welcome to the Be Inspired Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com with your host, Miss Be Inspired on the mic.
Yeah, you already know one of the co-hosts, Blizzard.
And the other co-host, HL7 Azra.
Say it with your chest.
Yes.
HL7 Azra.
Right.
There we
you
go.
gotta say that title like you mean it.
Say it with your chest.
Anyway, so if you're just tuning in, our topic for tonight is let's talk about it. Discussion on anxiety and depression. No, this is not the warm and fuzzy topic that, will make you feel all wonderful inside. No, it could end up that way. But it's something we definitely need to discuss. A lot of times people don't want to, or they shy away from discussing it because of various reasons, because of feeling ashamed, or feeling like people may misunderstand them because of it. And these are things that people may feel. But that, to me, I'm hoping that people who are listening will understand that we can live beyond those beliefs and get the healing that we need. I was fortunate enough to write a chapter about it in the Wisdom on the Wall book, written by myself, Kadisha Carroll, and Alicia Adams. This is a powerful, inspirational book. I don't think you can have too many inspirational books out there, because my story and how I portray it, how I demonstrate it, is different from how somebody else wrote it. It's all something that can help. So I'm hoping that those who are listening will support this project. We worked hard on this, let me tell you. Okay, we worked hard on this book, but I was able to talk about anxiety and depression in it because, again, if you're just tuning in, I told the audience a little while ago that I dealt with anxiety and depression for many years, starting at the age of 18. I'm now 34. And there were a lot of things that happened to me along the way that affected me, including the death of my mother when I was 22. She died from cancer. Another death, my cousin, who I was actually living in his room. He gave me his room when he passed away. He wasn't in the room, but he let me have his room at my aunt and uncle's house when he passed away. And that was just months after my mother died. Of course, I had endometriosis, which is a disease of the reproductive system in women, and I lost one ovary and 75% of the other. I had major surgery that saved my life because I was hemorrhaging, which means I was bleeding internally, walking around with swollen kidneys and some other stuff. There was a lot going on with me, and yes, I almost died. I was having dizzy spells, and I didn't know what was wrong with me. When I got to the hospital, they were like, what? How are you still walking around? You know, so there were a lot of things that happened to me in my life that perpetuated the anxiety and depression disorder that I already had. And there were some other things that triggered it. So tonight, we're sparking up the conversation about it because we believe it needs to be discussed. There are a lot of people out there who are dealing with it in private and don't know what they need to do to deal with it and don't even know that they have it.
Right.
And so I'm going to read a portion of the book. Okay, I want you to really purchase the book if you can, because it goes in depth some more about anxiety and depression. But tonight I thought it was fitting to share this excerpt from the book because it does talk a lot about some of the symptoms that people who have it go through, and also give some encouragement on the fact that you can live beyond it. It doesn't have to be the end of you. There are a lot of people who have had anxiety and depression and live beyond it, and I'm a witness. I am a witness that you can get beyond it with the proper help, talking to counselors, even medicine if you need it, much prayer, first and foremost, definitely, and also having a great support system. These are all things that can help you along the way. So let me go ahead and read a portion of the book. And I'm hoping that you all are enjoying this tonight. And please, by all means, share this video out with as many people as you can, people that you believe that can benefit from this conversation. So I'm going to go right into it. At first, I talked about how it is so taboo in a lot of minority communities to talk about anxiety and depression. And then I'm going to finish up the chapter. So it says, making the first steps towards healing does not require you to be perfect, strong, or have it all together. It just takes a willing heart and mind. There is life after anxiety and depression. Many anxiety and depression sufferers feel hopeless, with thoughts and questions of why me? Because a lot of times when people have their first episode of anxiety or even depression, you automatically go to, what's wrong with me? You know, why am I the one having to go through this? The sufferer begins to feel that they are a lost cause. They feel shame because of the burden they think that they are putting on their loved ones. Be kind and patient with yourself, with the understanding that you can get through this. The people who truly care about you will be with you through the process of your healing and will give you the type of support that you need. In some cases, you may have to communicate to your loved ones the type of support that you need, because I'm going to give you an example. So when I was going through anxiety and depression, you know, and my husband doesn't mind me sharing this because this is a part of our story, but we've grown beyond this. He didn't really know how to respond to me, especially when I first had an anxiety attack, well, in front of him, because, you know, I was so anxious. I felt like I wanted to run. I wanted to just jump out of my skin. I just need, you know, and I was just like, I couldn't get myself together. I wasn't comfortable. And he was like, calm down. You just need to calm down. I'm like, you don't understand. I can't calm down. I have racing thoughts and, you know, my heart is beating and I feel like I'm going to pass out. And you're trying to do everything you can to gain control of yourself, but you don't feel like you have control. And so my husband, he was like the whole time, you just need to sit down. And he was getting frustrated to the point where he would be yelling at me. And this would be every episode that I had. He would yell like, you know, you need to sit down. And that would add more stress to me. Yeah. You know, because when you have an experience about it.
Yeah. When I was in school one time, and this happens occasionally, but I would have a panic attack and I'd get aggressive. It's like it's not necessarily aggression, but it's like I have to keep moving. I can't sit still. It's like something's telling me to just keep going. And the first thing I did was I went to find my teacher, because I was like, he'll be able to calmly talk me down, because all I really needed was someone to really calmly talk to me,
talk you through it.
Because it calms you down and it makes you relax. If people get intense with you, then
it's counterproductive.
Now I'm even more intense. So like I was just out in the hallway just punching lockers and everything, and then like I'm just going around trying to figure out what to do. Eventually it subsides, but like you just really need someone to be able to calmly talk you through it.
Yeah, you do. And so like again, like you said, and like I said, that it's counterproductive if someone is around you and they are, yelling at you. You need to calm down. You need to sit down. You know, at that point in time, you need somebody that is around you that can help talk you through it and calm you down. So the thing is, the point that I brought that up is that you have to tell people what you need when you're going through, when you realize what you have, because not everybody is at that point where they can communicate that. But I did get to a point in my coping process where I could say to my husband, babe, it doesn't help me when you yell at me when I'm having an anxiety attack. It doesn't help. It just makes me feel more anxious, or makes me feel like I'm doing something wrong, or I'm, a burden to you. And that's not helping me, Yeah. And so the next time I went through an anxiety attack, he was more reassuring, and he was like, okay, you can get through this, and that was so helpful to me. So when you have a support system around you and you are at that point in your coping and your healing process where you can tell people what you need, do that. Let the people around you know what's going on with you.
And for all the people who have a significant other or a close friend that suffers from panic attacks or anxiety, if you don't know that that's what they're going through, because realistically you probably won't know at first, because if you're anything like how I was, it takes a while for you to be able to tell someone, hey, this is the problem, because after the problem subsides, you don't really want to go in and explain it.
That's true.
Because it kind of hurts to explain it, and you start to feel bad about it.
Yep.
So it's like, it is a lot to ask just to pick up on it, but sometimes that's kind of what we need.
Yeah, it is what we need. We gotta, it's tough. It is tough to talk about to the people that we care about, but it's definitely a conversation that we need to have. And if you know anybody who's dealing with it, and they are afraid to talk about it, I wouldn't say force yourself on them.
Don't do that.
Don't do that, because that's even worse.
Right.
But if you can put yourself in a position where they feel comfortable to open up to you, that will be very helpful, because people just need somebody to hear them out and not judge them when they are dealing with anxiety and depression. You just do. So I'm going to read a portion of the book that talks about depression and what it is. And I think this is key, because a lot of people deal with it and don't know that they're dealing with it. What is the depression? Depression and anxiety are often paired together because it is believed that one leads to the other. Some of the symptoms are very similar as well. This term is often used loosely in referring to someone being sad, but true depression has serious effects on the person suffering with it. According to Mayo Clinic, depression is a mood disorder that causes a persistent feeling of sadness and loss of interest. It is also called major depressive disorder or clinical depression. It affects how you feel, think, and behave, and can lead to a variety of emotional and physical problems. Some of the symptoms that a person suffering from anxiety may feel are feelings of intense are feelings of the intense sadness, loss of appetite, loss of energy, sleep disturbance, trouble thinking, physical problems like headaches and general body aches, having constant thoughts of death or harming oneself. These types of symptoms must be taken quite seriously. Again, you must know that you are not crazy. You have to keep reassuring yourself of that. You have to, because a lot of times we are afraid to talk about it because we're going to be labeled as crazy. Mm-hmm. But when you're ready for healing, don't let that be your focus. Because people are going to think whatever they want to think about you, regardless. Right? They're going to judge you, label you, even when you're doing good stuff. Mm-hmm. People will try to label you. So I encourage you, if you can, reassure yourself, I am not crazy, but this is something that I need to deal with. Okay. Typically, most causes of depression can be linked to some sort of trauma that a person has encountered somewhere in their lives. In other cases, some people are genetically predisposed to it, something that I mentioned earlier, meaning someone in your family dealt with it, like a mother or father, which gets passed down genetically. So that's what happened to me in my case. My mother dealt with anxiety for a long time, and I never knew it. It wasn't until I had my first episode that my mother came out to me and said I dealt with anxiety too. She never thought that it would end up getting passed down to me, but it did. And so that sparked the conversation. She still wasn't 100% comfortable with talking about it, because if she opened up about it, then that would lead to her having to talk about some of the issues that she dealt with when she grew up, and she wasn't ready to do that. But my mother dealt with anxiety and depression for many years, and she just never wanted to really talk about it. It was sad because it hindered her ability in some ways to get healed from some of the things that caused it. Okay, so let me keep on going. Wake up, family, because this book is good, okay?
It really is. Y'all need to buy this book.
Yes. All right, so here we go. Where? Okay, you can buy. So we have, when we come back from the break, let me explain that to you, because that's
they got a whole tour.
Yeah, we got a whole tour. There's several ways you can purchase the book, but I don't want this just to be about that. I do want this to be about the topic that we're discussing, which is anxiety and depression. It just so happens that I did write a chapter on that in the Wisdom on the Wall book, which is on sale. So please stay tuned to the Be Inspired Radio Show right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
Last time on Talk Lately.
He don't have Down syndrome.
Man killed after being shot in Charm City Circulator. That's Derek. It says a 26-year-old man was killed after being shot on the Charm Circulator bus Wednesday afternoon. Police. Oh, that was last Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Okay, good. It wasn't Derek. He did that. His shooting was on Saturday. Police found the victim, who had been shot in the stomach at 2:50 p.m. at the bus on the 200 block of South Broadway and Gulf Street.
But he was on. It
is over east.
Yeah, it's the one that's coming from Johns Hopkins.
Police believe the suspect and victim argued, then got onto the bus. The bus was still stopped when the shooting occurred. 1 minute. The suspect, wearing a black hoodie, black pants, black shoes, white soles. Matt. I know that was that mastermind down there. Okay, somebody go look for mastermind. Hello?
At that point, it's time to go for a break.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Ladies, are you in need of the best quality hair extensions, a cute outfit, or that perfect pair of shades? Pink Ice Products can cover you from head to toe, from flawless weaves to apparel. Visit us online at pinkiceproducts.bigcartel.com. We're located at 3000 Old Alabama Road, 119-303, Alpharetta, Georgia. Or give us a call at 470-488-6484. Come on in and check out Pink Ice Products today.
Check out this flashback from the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
So you're your biggest asset. Mm-hmm. You have to practice self-care. Every entrepreneur has to practice self-care. You have to release yourself from toxic situations.
Explain to us real quick, what is a toxic situation?
A toxic situation is something that will control your mind, something that hurts you, something that you have to battle, toxic, hurt. If you're in a toxic situation, if you get hurt, if you get pain, if you get struggle, right? And if your spirit does not align correctly, that may be a toxic situation. So when I say you make that jump when your values don't align, you make decisions based on your values. And if those decisions don't align with your values, then that's when you say no.
Tune into the Artist Exchange every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m.
Are you getting your kids this hoverboard thing that's taking over the country? They range from $300 to $600. They're blowing up. And then, I mean, literally blowing up. That one video, I thought that was going to be the one and only video that I saw in reference to it. And it wasn't. I seen, now I could probably tell you about 10 to 15 videos of this happening where this battery gets super, super hot and burns like holes into your tennis shoes.
Oh my.
And I know you would be pissed if you was wearing Jordans and you just paid all that money, your lights are off. And
especially if they're from China.
Your lights off.
Check out the Talk Lately show every Tuesday nights from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Be Inspired Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com. This is your host, Miss Be Inspired.
Yeah. You already know your boy Blizzard.
And the artist and angel HL7 Azrael.
And then we got Nate in the building helping with us.
That sounds like a wrestler's
Nate, you got to tell everybody who you are.
I am Nate, the Great, a.k.a. Nate.
A.k.a. Nate.
With the beard.
This is a very interesting topic. I think we've all had levels of depression, but anxiety was definitely something that I
dealt with.
Just once, I was in a barbershop.
Yeah.
And the young lady was plucking. You know how you get ingrown hairs?
Yeah.
And I was sweating, but there was a fan in my face. And I just felt like I got up and went to the bathroom, and I just felt dizzy.
Oh, Lord. And we got before I'm sorry, but we got we have Alicia on the line, who's here for the inspirational segment. Hey, Alicia. Hello.
Yeah, pick us up.
Are you there? Can you hear us?
Inspire us.
Okay. Hey, Valicia, can you hear us? Okay, she hung up. Okay, so she'll end up calling me. She'll probably call me on my phone, and we'll connect that way. So yes, Valicia Tall is going to speak to us for our inspirational segment.
Peak of the devil.
Here she is right now, folks. Hello, Valicia.
Hey, yeah, I couldn't hear. I was breaking up right badly.
Okay, that's all right. Well, we have you here on the air. Can you hear us?
Yeah, everything is clear now.
Yay! Okay. All right. So, everybody who is just tuning in, we're here with Valicia Tall, who is one of the contributors to the Be Inspired radio show. And it is a pleasure to have her be part of our team. So, tell everybody, hey, Valicia.
Hey, what's going on? So, I'm Valicia, wardrobe stylist and style tour guide with Fashion with Chic Tour. And I just help women to rebrand their image while making shopping an experience by highlighting the hottest places to shop. So, how is everyone? I'm so happy to. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person, but I'm happy to be here amongst the family. I think this is like my second time coming on as a contributing guest, so yes. I really appreciate this amazing opportunity.
Well, we appreciate you. You know that, Valicia. You definitely are family. So, I know that you said that you wanted to weigh in on anxiety and depression tonight. Is that correct?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, I I've been chiming in, just listening to what you all was discussing about anxiety and depression, and it's funny because before I even knew what you were going to talk about, I was like, you know what, I really want to be transparent today in terms of just, you know, talking about depression, and a lot of times that definitely goes overlooked, as you stated, in our community and in our culture. And for whatever reason, I don't understand why people don't want to address it. It's real as ever.
Yes.
But it's almost like that, it's like a big elephant in the room type of situation, but everybody's just walking past it as if the elephant is not even there.
Right.
But when you get down to the root of it all, that depression and anxiety is very big. And I know for me, you know, coming up, not always having a foundation in terms of like, let me say not the foundation, but not the strong foundation, or being raised up in the church. That was one of the things that probably would deter me from really seeking help, was the fact that am I not trusting God if I go and get the help that I need to deal with this depression?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's like just yesterday, you know, I was really feeling, you know, very heavy behind it. And one thing I was realizing is that the coping mechanism that I used when I was going through my trauma as a young child, even in my younger adult years, it just wasn't working this time. And for me, I used to always binge eat on food. So you can't. For me, I was just like, well, I'm not going to binge eat anymore. That was making me very sick. I couldn't handle it. And I just had to figure out a different coping mechanism. But because that was what I resorted to every time, then I was like, oh my God, how can I cope with this now? You know, going through this today, I'm not going to binge eat on food. It's like that song that Solange, if I'm saying her name right, sings. She say, I tried to eat it away. You know what I mean? I tried to sleep it away. And those things doesn't work. It wasn't working for me at that particular time. And really all I could do was call on God to help me. But even calling on Him, it just seemed like at that particular moment, like His voice, like He just wasn't hearing me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's like, what do you do when you feel like the very person that you're reaching out to help you is silenced and muted as well? So, you know, just from there, I had to calm myself down. You know, I have my little ones and so forth, and I'm like, well, I can't have an anxiety attack in the middle of my living room.
Girl, that's real though, right there. That is real.
It's very real. It's very real, and it's like, well, who do they call? And mommy just starts having an anxiety attack, and they don't see anything that's going on, but they don't see that something just triggered me in my mind where it took me back maybe 20 years.
Yes.
And I'm just sitting there bawling and crying off of something that I thought that I was healed from. But the memories of that thing is very potent, as if it just happened to me. And so I'm just like, God, where's my help at? You know what I mean? Where's my help right now? And so it's and for me, this has been a long journey for me, because when I was younger, I had been sexually molested from the age of 5 to the age of 14. And I just started putting this in a book form, which I'm so excited to be a part of, Reposition Crowns.
Yes.
And when I started this, when I was as I became a part of this anthology book, and I'm writing, it was as if I was just reliving some of those traumatic experiences that I knew I had sought therapy on.
Yes.
But it just brought back a whole nother layer of healing that I believe God wanted to take place in my life at that particular moment. But it's very scary. I lost a lot of friendships behind depression, and just not being able to express to people that I'm not shunning you, or it's not because I don't want to talk to you. I just it's like I'm in a box or I'm in a glass house screaming, wanting you to help me and reach me, but I don't even know how to tell you I need your help.
Valicia, we're getting ready to take a break. When we come back, please share with us some more of your story. I'm sure there are so many people that are being encouraged by it. And first of all, I want to thank you for your courage and your strength to share your story on a platform like this. And not a lot of people, have that courage to share. And I appreciate you for doing that. So when we come back from the break, we would love for you to share some more about your story.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, everybody. So let's take this quick break. When we come back, we're going to have more with Valicia and more from the Be Inspired Radio Show team right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
Wow.
Check out this flashback from the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
So you're your biggest asset.
Mm-hmm.
You have to practice self-care. Every entrepreneur has to practice self-care. You have to release yourself from toxic situations.
Explain to us real quick, what is a toxic situation?
A toxic situation is something that will control your mind, something that hurts you, something that you have to battle. Toxic. Hurt. If you're in a toxic situation, if you get hurt, if you get pain, if you get struggle, right? And if your spirit does not align correctly, that may be a toxic situation. So when I say you make that jump when your values don't align, you make decisions based on your values. And if those decisions don't align with your values, then that's when you say no.
Tune into the Artist Exchange every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Every Saturday,
This is
12
the night
p.m.
that I
to
put my head through the window and everything. So.
Why would you do that?
Now, I was sitting on the floor.
All these stories always involve alcohol.
They do. I was sitting on the floor, and my drink of choice back then was vodka and orange juice. It's still my drink of choice, but I don't drink it as much.
I was a 151 kid, straight up.
I love vodka, especially when it was
that rubbing alcohol. What brand?
I love back then. I was hooked on Absolute.
That was the best at the time.
And Pinnacle was like number 2 and stuff like that.
Because they didn't have what's the new one that came out? Yeah, what was the new one?
Ciroc, vodka, and
the other one. Who is real smooth? New Amsterdam. New Amsterdam came out, and it was so.
And Grey Goose. Grey Goose was out at that time too.
See, I didn't drink. I told you 151. That was my drink.
Yeah, Grey Goose vodka was one of the ones because I loved the bottle.
Because you can light it on fire.
The bottle was hot. It was that shaded, that shaved glass.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I was sitting on the floor, and we was talking about something. I don't even remember what we were talking about. All I know is I was bust out laughing. I got ching-ling, ling, ling, glass everywhere. I wouldn't cut it all though. I had to.
Because you had your bun.
Actually, I didn't. I didn't have any hair back then.
Ooh.
I don't remember. I don't think I did.
And you ain't cut your hair?
Nope. I was just fine. I was like, oh, your glass broken. It was winter, dead of winter.
Check more of these funny moments out when you tune into BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Now is Mike.
You know I will.
No, he is. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the Be Inspired Radio Show right here on BeExposedRadio.com. We are here. Well, first of all, this is Miss Be Inspired on the mic. I can't forget that.
Yeah. You already know your boy Blizzard.
And the Artisan Angel HL7 Azra.
And then we got Nate over here.
Nate is geeking tonight, man. I think Nate has something for you.
Right. Are you sure you ain't have any sugar, Nate?
Pizza, that's all.
But yes, we are here tonight talking about anxiety and depression. Right now, we are in our inspirational segment with Valicia Tall, who shared with her story and some of the things that she's gone through and her experiences with anxiety and depression. So I want her to go ahead and continue sharing with us. Valicia, hey.
Hey. I'm here.
I hear the baby. He's so cute.
I was just saying, I I guess just touching on the depression, and I think I ended with saying that behind it, I even lost a lot of friendships because I wasn't able to voice those moments when I was going through depression, and it would happen like in a 2 to 3 week span where I just fall off the face of the earth, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I guess from that, because I wasn't able to communicate what was really going on, just some people wasn't able to handle that. Mm-hmm. So it can become scary because it causes you to either be out of the box with yourself or to become introverted and reserved because you're like, I don't want to continue starting friendships and then I can't maintain them because of this situation, because of when depression comes, am I going to just walk away from my friendship and the person not even know what's really going on?
I'm going to add to that too, that sometimes you don't want to get, for me, I didn't want to embrace certain friendships and relationships because I was afraid that I might have an episode in front of them.
Right.
And so for me, I shunned those relationships too for that reason. I was scared that if they got close enough to me, they would see that part of me. And I didn't want to, I guess, burden them with that issue either. So I struggled in that area myself.
Right. And so for me, with depression, I think that coming up, I didn't even realize how bad of depression it was. As I was younger, I always had to cope with my traumatic experiences from being molested and so forth. So every day was always a survival mode for me. Mm-hmm. But as I grew older, and I didn't have anything that I was really fighting for in terms of those traumatic experiences on a continuous basis, I still found myself having the characteristics as if I was in survival mode.
Yep.
So it's really crazy. I had to tell myself that I had food in my refrigerator, but I was acting as if I didn't. Mm-hmm. It was really a lot. And, even down to where I had to talk myself through paying my bills because I always lived in lack in my mind. So I would just let everything go. And that's a very scary place to be when you just shut down and don't pay your bills, because in your mind you say, I don't really have it, or I don't have enough, or it's just overwhelming, and you just forget everything.
Yes.
So it's
so real.
It's so real. It's so real, and it's so like, what do you do with that? And so every day on a continuous basis, I find that I have to nurture myself first and foremost spiritually. Mm-hmm. Like, I have to make sure that I give myself that quality time of connecting with me even if I'm listening to classical music. I need that time of just reassuring myself and rebuilding my mind and how I see myself. That's so important, and really trusting God that my deliverance is going to come, but I'm walking through it in a proper way.
Yes.
I'm not using things, substance, men to soothe that the symptom instead of getting to the root.
Yeah. I mean, some people, and of course, as you mentioned, some people do turn to relationships, substance, any kind of thing that they can put their energy to, any kind of habit, shopping, eating, whatever it is, to try to numb that pain just for a minute, or just to take you away from that. I know for me, my coping mechanism, I always just became very dependent on people. For me, I always became very dependent on somebody. I needed someone around me, some kind of friend or boyfriend or somebody around me to help me, because then if I was always doing for them, I didn't have to think about the fact that I was dealing with anxiety and depression. So that was something that I dealt with. No, I didn't do drugs or okay, so I think did we lose you, Felicia?
I'm here.
Okay, sorry about that. So, you know, I didn't like turn to substance abuse or anything like that, but I became very dependent on other people, you know, for to help me. Yep, go ahead.
Exactly, and the thing is, I have no judgment for those who, like, I totally can understand when life comes very hard, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, this is my dope fiend crack moment. But glory to God, I'm not resulting to that, because it's stuff that can really come, and when I see that, I'd be like, wow, they just didn't know how to really deal with the situation when it came. But things can definitely come that will have you resulting to something. So I'm so grateful that despite all that has came and all the traumatic experiences that I have all undergone, that my result wasn't, you know, the addictive, you know, substance on that part. And it's of nothing of my own but God that didn't allow me to go in that direction.
Yes. So when did you know you were ready to share your story?
I think I was really ready when I was a part of speaking with LaQuisha Hall, who was the author of the Reposition Crown. She started the whole anthology, the opportunity for other authors to come and be authors of the book. I'm sorry. So, and then also I think I was at a place, I've been wanting to share my story, but I just didn't know how to share it. And I've always been in a place where I didn't want anyone feeling sorry for me, but I guess I felt like maybe my story can make a difference to one person. And if it can, then I most certainly would love to help just that one.
Yeah. So what encouraging words would you like to give to someone who's dealing with anxiety and depression today?
Well, I would definitely say that, like, you're not alone. And I know sometimes that can be something that you always hear, like, you're not alone, but you don't know what I'm going through at that particular moment where I feel like my whole world is crumbling and I'm in a sinkhole and I have no one to get me out. I would definitely just say, really allow yourself to reach out for help, and don't be afraid if that help looks like doctors or therapists or getting medical medicine. But do what's going to help you become healthy and whole. And it's not going to always, your healing and my healing is not going to look like everybody else's. So I can say, oh, I don't take medicine for my depression, and that's okay if the next person don't. But if I choose to, then that's what I choose to do.
Yes.
So I would say definitely, you know, don't allow the voices of others to dictate what healing and what being whole looks like for your life.
Yes, that is so key. You have to find the right coping mechanism that works for you. I agree with that so much. For me, it wasn't necessarily that I needed medicine, but I definitely needed to go to counseling, which I did. I went to counseling for several years and just talked about ways to process some of the things that triggered the anxiety and depression in my life and how to get through it. And that alone was helpful because the counselor was able to shed a perspective on it, or some of the things that I was going through that I didn't really fully understand, just trying to deal with it on my own. But the counselor was able to talk me through and even give me tips on how to deal with the depression or the anxiety. Like for me, I dealt with more on the anxiety side where, you know, a trigger would go off in my mind and I would just go straight into being anxious. And so the counselor was able to give me some techniques on how to deal with that when I encounter it.
And it's so key.
Yeah.
So what's one of the things that would you say as one of the techniques?
One of the techniques is to like let your body go totally limp. So usually when you're going through anxiety at the moment, your body is so tense. you just feel all your muscles just get really tight, right? And you just start shaking and things like that. So one of the things you can do is to just let your body go completely limp, like go against that desire to be tense and, you know, just tense. Just let your whole side of your body go limp. And I have practiced doing that a lot, which what that does is it forces you to relax your muscles.
Right, okay.
And so so that's just a technique for anxiety. I never really grasped the concept of the breathing techniques very well, because that just made me more anxious to be focusing on my breaths, you know. So I'm like, because you already worried about whether or not you can breathe or not when you're having an anxiety attack. So for me, focusing on breathing wasn't a good technique for me, because that made me more anxious. But just sitting completely still and letting every single muscle in my body go relaxed, it helped me. And then also repeating, all is well and it will be well. And that actually helped me with my breathing, because as I said, all is well and it will be well. And then I take in a breath. All is well and it will be well. That was actually helping me with my breathing, but I didn't realize it. But saying little sayings like that redirects your focus, because when you're having an anxiety attack, your thoughts are racing. You got 1,000 things going on in your head all at once. So if you refocus your brain just to think about that one saying, it kind of reprograms you not to be worried about all the possibilities of what could happen to you in that moment. Because when you have an anxiety attack, you think, oh my God, I'm about to pass out. Oh my God, I'm dizzy. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But sitting there and just repeating something like that just refocuses your mind and keeps you from focusing on all those racing thoughts.
It's so true. And the one thing, if I can just point on that, like, you know, when the Bible talks about renewing your mind on a consistent basis, I definitely understand why. And I think that doesn't downplay where a person may be spiritually because they deal with anxiety or depression. But I definitely use that as one of my coping mechanisms when I'm going through that, is to really allow my thoughts to be renewed. And retraining my thoughts to really zooming in on what I'm thinking about at those moments when those things come.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So.
I like what Michael said. Michael Allen said, I have dealt with anxiety for 29 years. It's not easy. And Michael, you are right. It's not easy. It's not one of those things like, oh, you know, if I just do X, Y, and Z, then that's it. You know,
I know.
It's one of those things that you constantly have to remind yourself to get the help that you need on a regular basis, and not be afraid of it. And constant checks on yourself, constantly, you know, checking in on yourself and making sure you're all right.
It's a constant battle.
It's an everyday thing, you know. But we are coming to the end of our show. I cannot believe it. But we're getting ready to take a break. After this break, we'll be wrapping it up and just giving some last minute pointers on how to deal with anxiety and depression, and giving you some information on how to get these wonderful books that we have here. Wisdom on the Wall, which is a book that I co-authored with two other authors, Alicia Adams and Kadisha Carroll. In this book, I write an entire chapter on anxiety and depression, which I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to write. It was definitely very healing for me to be able to put in words some of the things that I experienced and how I was able to, and how I am able to cope with it. Because there are days when I relapse, to be honest with you. There are times when I relapse. And, you know, no, it's not easy when you relapse. You might get into a period of time where you're just fine, and then something will happen and it'll trigger you and you'll relapse. It happens. So I get to talk about some of that in this book, Wisdom on the Wall. But when we come back, we're going to wrap it up with Valicia and also give you some information on how you can get this book and some other things that are coming up. So please stay tuned to the Be Inspired Radio Show right here on BeExposedRadio.com. right. Some people just that. Some people just.
Thank you for tuning in to BeExposedRadio.com. Sit back, relax, and listen to this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
What does hustle hard mean to you? What does that signify in your life?
That's a lifestyle for me. You know what I mean? Like, true story, I was born into a family and a community of hustlers. Now, let's get focused right quick, because when people hear the word hustler, they confuse it with con artist or something negative. So they like to call people entrepreneurs, right? But the definition, and I'm paraphrasing, but the definition of hustle is forced movement or to be hurried, right? But we're not talking about just pushing other people. Sometimes you got to push yourself, and that what makes you a hustler. True story. So the thing about it is, like, when it comes to hustling, listen, quick story. I used to go buy juleps a lot, right? And my grandmother used to make me clean the yard, shovel snow, do things like that to go get a julep. But one day she was like, look, you putting all your money in someone else's pocket.
Word.
Save those quarters, and I can teach you how to make a formula, and you can sell your own juleps. You understand? So the next couple weeks, I saved my money.
Always a hustler.
Listen,
got to love
but think
everybody
about
got
this.
a grandma story like that.
Grandmothers are the natural hustlers because they were the ones who maintained and sustained our families through epidemics. You're talking Big Mama went through slavery and held it. You're talking Big Mama went through the Depression and held it. Big Mama went through crack and held it and still maintains it today. So if you don't think you come from a hustler, then you don't know where you come from. You understand?
That's so real.
I began to sell juleps, and ever since then, I capture a hustle. And a hustle is not a swindle. It's not a sneaky thing. It's up front. You're providing a need. You understand? So you're the bridge. If you're a true hustler, you're trying to be the bridge. If somebody's on one side and they need to get the other, you're trying to be the bridge, fill in the gap. So hustling is a lifestyle. It's not something you can do 10 minutes out the day. It has to be something you live.
Word.
Hey, what's up? This is Nate, host of the Artist Exchange Radio Show. Tune in every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. and every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live, here live on BeExposedRadio.com.
Be Exposed Radio.
Definitely not taking responsibility for other people's emotions and things that's going on, and owning up to who you are. I know that's what you were finishing on, so you can speak more on that, sister.
Yeah, just making sure, because at the end of the day, what happens to us, especially women, we're nurturers. So by life, we tend to want to, I call men projects, like fix-me-uppers, people that come with issues. And for some reason, people, we all have issues, but people who want you to help them through their issues, So we take on projects because we
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Oh, welcome back, everybody. Oh, my goodness. That time went fast. We are back. You're tuned into the Be Inspired Radio Show. We are just about to wrap it up. This has been a great show, talking about the topic of anxiety and depression, which for so many is so difficult to discuss. And we mentioned that several times throughout the show, that in some communities it is taboo to even discuss, meaning it's a topic that people shun and don't want to discuss. For me, I decided that I wanted to share my story about the fact that I've dealt with anxiety and depression since the age of 18, and I'm now 34. So, and it's just like Michael said, who's tuned in right now, it's not easy. No, it's not easy to deal with, especially when you're constantly bombarded with issues throughout your life, which is why it's so important to find ways to cope with it. We were able to talk to Valicia Tall, who's on the phone with us right now, who shared her story with us. Thank you so much, Valicia, for sharing your story with us tonight.
Yes, darling. It was very, I want to say, very freeing.
Yes.
So I think when you give a part of yourself and be transparent, it's always taking back that power of whatever it is that you're dealing with or have dealt with.
Absolutely, I agree. That is a form of taking back your power. The one thing about depression and anxiety is that the first thought or feeling is to isolate yourself and not talk about it and to hide. So if you can find the strength to share your story, if you can find the strength to talk to somebody about what you're dealing with, you are taking back your power. So I agree with that 100%. As I said before, I wrote an entire chapter about anxiety and depression in the Wisdom on the Wall book project, which I co-authored with Alicia Adams and Kadisha Carroll. We together wrote on several major topics that women and people in general deal with on a regular basis. We named it Wisdom on the Wall because anything you care about, you post somewhere where you can see it. We want you to take nuggets out of this book and use it and put it somewhere important, somewhere where you can go and grab it again and remember it. And we want to pass it down to other generations. So the wisdom that we share in this book is not just for you, but it's also for other people and generations to come. There are several ways that you can purchase the book. You can either go to KadishaCarroll.com. She has it on her website in her store. I have it also on my website at themissbeinspired.com, and you will see a tab that says Wisdom on the Wall. You can go there and purchase there through PayPal. There are two links. One regular price link and the other one that includes the price for shipping if you want the book shipped to you. So there are several ways that you can purchase the book. If you want more information, please let us know. If you're watching via Facebook Live, drop us a comment. Say, hey, I want the book. We'll send you some more information. You can inbox me on Facebook. You can send an email to themissbeinspired@gmail.com. Everything is Miss Be Inspired. Also, and the price of the book is $15.97. $15.97.
Gotta get over Walmart.
That's right. We priced it competitively.
Right, with them low prices, you can't be mad at that.
Right. We have a book signing on August the 20th, this Sunday in Delaware. If you want to be a sponsor of the Be Inspired Radio Show, you can do that. We're running a $25 special for back to school. So if you want to hop on that special, please let us know. There's a lot going on, family, but we want you to tune in next week. We have amazing guests for you, and we also have Nella Chikwe that'll be back with us. So everybody, we got to wrap it up. That's it for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. We love you, and see you next week right here on the Be Inspired Radio Show on Be Exposed Radio. We're going to say it one more time.
WithoutChuck.com. You should have joined.
Check out this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
So we're going to get a little bit into the album.
Errol, visit us online at pinkiceproducts.bigcartel.com. We're located at 3000 Old Alabama Road, 119-303, Alpharetta, Georgia. Or give us a call at 470-488-6484. Come on in and check out Pink Ice Products today.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Check out this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
How did you know that this is what you wanted to do as far as being a singer or entertainer?
It's always been in me. It's always been a part of who I am since a child. Since a child, I've always gotten karaoke boxes, and I've always learned this song and solos in school and all of those things. And I met my Reflections actually in high school, and we were singing and we were singing back then, choral music.
Douglas High School.
Yes, quack, come on through here. So
2 G's in a day pass.
Okay, 2 G's in a bus pass, baby. It used to be, of course. It's It was destined. I feel like it was destined. My whole family sings. Everyone in my circle sings. It's like I just couldn't get away from it. I'm always gonna sing.
Where did your personality come from? Are you always this crazy?
Yes.
Yes. Crazy.
Right? I woke up like this.
Okay.
And went to sleep like it too.
The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Saturday 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com.
Ladies, are you in need of the best quality hair extensions, a cute outfit, or that perfect pair of shades? Pink Ice products can cover you.